20 unbreakable money rules I learned from 100 books. Welcome back to MT. For the last 10 years, I have been reading about money. I read over 100 books to understand how it really works. At first, I just wanted to learn how to make more money. But what I found was something much bigger and much more important. The lessons I learned were not just about spreadsheets and budgets. They were about how you think, how you act, and how you see the world. Most money advice is meant to keep you small and scared. This advice is different because it is about living a bigger and richer life. Here are the 20 most powerful rules I learned from all those books. These rules can change your financial life forever if you use them. 1. Play offense, not just defense. Most of the money advice you hear is about playing defense. People tell you to live below your means, to cut your spending, and to save every penny. This is the mindset of scarcity, where you are always focused on what you cannot have. It is like a sports team that only defends its own goal, but never tries to score. That team can never win the game. The best it can do is not lose, and that is a very small goal. The real secret to building wealth is to play offense. This means you should focus on expanding your means and finding ways to earn more money. Instead of asking yourself how you can save $10 on groceries, you should be asking how you can earn an extra $100 this week. Cutting your costs has a limit because there is only so much you can cut before your life becomes miserable. Earning more money, on the other hand, has no limit. It is an exciting game that forces you to grow, learn new things, and solve problems for other people. Think about two friends, one named Alex and one named Ben. Alex spends all his time looking for coupons, comparing prices, and feeling bad about buying a coffee. Ben spends that same time learning a new skill online that can help him get a promotion at work. In a year, Alex might have saved a few $100s, but he will also feel drained and deprived. In that same year, Ben might get a raise that pays him thousands of dollars more every year. He feels powerful and confident because he focused on growth instead of on cutting back. This is the mindset of abundance. You start to see opportunities everywhere, instead of just seeing limitations. When you want something you cannot afford, do not say, "I cannot afford it." Instead, ask your brain a better question, which is, how can I afford it? That simple change in words forces your mind to look for solutions instead of shutting down. It turns you from a passive victim into an active problem solver. Playing offense is about betting on yourself. It is about believing that your ability to learn and earn is your greatest asset. You are not just a person who spends money. You are a person who can create value in the world, and you deserve to be paid for that value. 2. Master the language of money. There is a very simple language to money, but most people never learn it. The two most important words in this language are asset and liability. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. This is the most important financial lesson you will ever learn. If you can understand this one difference, you are already ahead of most people. The rich spend their entire lives buying or creating assets. They buy things like real estate that other people pay to live in, or stocks that pay them a piece of the company's profits. They might create a business that earns money while they are not working. Every asset they own is like a little employee working around the clock to make them richer. The poor and the middle class, on the other hand, spend their lives buying liabilities. The biggest problem is that they often think these liabilities are assets. They buy an expensive new car on a loan, and that car payment takes money out of their pocket every single month. They buy the newest phone on a payment plan, which is another thing that drains their bank account. Many people think their house is their biggest asset, but if you have a mortgage, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs, your house is taking a lot of money out of your pocket each month. It only becomes an asset if you sell it for a big profit, or if you rent out a room to someone else. Until then, it is a giant liability that costs you money. Your only job in your financial life is to buy or create more assets. That is the entire game in just one sentence. Every time you're about to make a big purchase, you need to stop and ask yourself one simple question. Is this thing going to put money in my pocket, or is it going to take money out of my pocket? Let's imagine two people, Sarah and Tom, who each get a $1,000 bonus from work. Sarah goes out and buys a huge new television for her living room. It looks great for a few years, but it never makes her a single dollar. Tom takes his $1,000 and buys a few shares in a solid, growing company. Every few months, that company sends him a small check, which is his share of the profits. It is not much at first, maybe just a few dollars, but it is money he did not have to work for. 10 years later, Sarah's television is old and worthless. Tom's shares have not only grown in value, but they have also been paying him money that whole time. Tom used his bonus to buy an asset, and Sarah used hers to buy a liability. That one small decision, repeated over and over again, is what creates the huge gap between the rich and everyone else. Start looking at the world through this lens. See everything as either an asset or a liability, and you will start making much smarter decisions. 3. Money is a reflection of your life energy. We often think that we get paid for our time at a job. If you work for 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours, but that is not the full truth. You are not just trading your time for money. You are trading your life energy, which is the most precious and limited thing you have. Every hour you spend working is an hour you can never get back. You cannot spend it with your family, you cannot spend it on your hobbies, and you cannot spend it just relaxing. When you start to see money in this way, your entire relationship with it will change forever. You will realize that you are exchanging pieces of your life for the things you buy. That new phone that costs $1,000 is not just $1,000. If you earn $25 an hour, that phone costs you 40 hours of your life. That is a full week of your life energy. It is a week of waking up early, sitting in traffic, dealing with a difficult boss, and feeling tired at the end of the day. Now ask yourself a better question. Is that new phone really worth an entire week of my life? Sometimes the answer might be yes, and that is perfectly okay. But many times, you will find that the answer is no. This way of thinking is not about making you feel guilty about spending money. It is about making you more intentional and conscious about where your life energy is going. When you value your life energy more, you stop wasting it on things that do not truly matter to you. You stop buying junk you do not need just to impress people you do not like. Instead, you start using your money, which is your stored life energy, on things that bring you real joy and freedom. You might spend it on a vacation with people you love, or on a course that teaches you a new skill. You might use it to buy assets that will eventually buy back your time. When an asset makes you money, it is giving you back your life energy, because that is money you do not have to work for. You can even calculate your real hourly wage. It is not just your salary divided by your hours at the office. You have to add in the time you spend getting ready for work, commuting to work, and thinking about work when you are at home. You also have to subtract the money you spend on work-related things, like gas, professional clothes, and lunches you buy because you are not at home to cook. When you do this real math, you might find that you are earning much less per hour than you thought. This realization can be a powerful motivator to make a change. Treat your money like you treat your life, because that is exactly what it is. It is a piece of your life that you have converted into paper or numbers on a screen. 4. Acquire high-value skills. You do not get rich just by wanting to be rich. If that was all it took, everyone would be wealthy. You get rich by becoming a more valuable person. You become valuable by acquiring skills that can solve difficult and expensive problems for other people. Think of it like a skill ladder. At the very bottom of the ladder are the common skills that almost everyone has. These are things like being able to do simple manual labor or basic data entry. Because so many people can do these things, they do not pay very much money. As you start to climb the ladder, you learn skills that are more specific, more difficult, and more valuable. You move from the common skills to the rare skills. Maybe you start by learning how to post on social media for a company. That is a step up, but still fairly common. Then you learn the skill of copywriting, which is how to write words that persuade people to buy something. This skill is more rare and therefore more valuable. After that, you might learn how to run complicated advertising campaigns online that can generate millions of dollars in sales for a business. This is a very high-value skill because it solves a very expensive problem, which is how to get more customers. Your income is almost always a direct reflection of the level of problem you can solve. If you solve small, easy problems, you will get a small, low income. If you can solve big, hard problems, you will get a big, high income. So the goal is not to chase after money itself. The goal is to chase after the skills that attract money. Money is just a side effect of the value you can provide to the world. So, how do you start climbing this ladder? You have to be willing to invest in yourself. This means spending your time and sometimes your money on books, courses, and mentors. It means being a lifelong learner who is always trying to get a little bit better every day. Look at the job market and see what skills are in high demand. What are companies willing to pay a lot of money for? Then, make a plan to acquire one of those skills. You do not have to become an expert overnight. Just start with the first step. Spend 30 minutes every day learning and practicing your new skill. Over time, that small daily effort will add up to something huge. You will climb the skill ladder one rung at a time, and your income will climb with you. This is a much more reliable path to wealth than just hoping to get lucky. You are building your own value, and no one can ever take that away from you. 5. Build and use leverage. Working hard is important, but hard work alone will not make you rich. If it did, every construction worker and farmer would be a millionaire. You can see people all around you working 2 or 3 jobs, putting in 80 hours a week, and they are still completely broke. This is because they are missing the secret ingredient, which is leverage. Leverage is the magic of getting a much bigger result from the same amount of effort. It is about working smarter, not just harder. There are 4 main types of leverage you can use to build wealth. The first type is capital, which means using money to make more money. This is what happens when you invest in the stock market or in real estate. Your money is doing the hard work for you, and it can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The second type of leverage is labor. This is when you use other people's time and skills to help you build your vision. No one builds a great company by themselves. They hire people who are smarter than them in specific areas to help them achieve their goals. The third and most powerful type of leverage today is code. This means using software, systems, and technology that can work for you automatically. When I create a single video, that piece of code on the internet can be watched by 1 million people all at the same time. I did the work once, but the leverage of code allows me to serve a massive audience with no extra effort. An online course or an ebook is another example of code. You create it one time, and it can be sold thousands of times while you are sleeping. The fourth type of leverage is media. This is using a platform like a blog, a podcast, or a social media account to reach a large audience. When you have the attention of thousands of people, you have leverage. You can recommend a product or share an idea, and you can influence a lot of people at once. The goal is to move away from doing things that have no leverage. For example, if you are a consultant who gets paid by the hour, your income is directly tied to your time. If you do not work, you do not get paid. To get leverage, you could turn your knowledge into an online course, which is code, and sell it to thousands of people. Now your income is no longer limited by the hours in your day. Find your form of leverage and focus all your energy on building it. Most people spend their entire lives providing their own labor with no leverage. The rich understand that you have to escape this trap to build true wealth. You need to own a piece of a business, a piece of code, or a piece of media that can work for you. That is how you disconnect your time from your income, which is the true definition of financial freedom. 6. Your network is your net worth. You cannot achieve big, ambitious goals all by yourself. The people you surround yourself with will have a huge impact on your success. There is a famous saying that your network is your net worth. This does not just mean that you should know rich people. It means that the collective knowledge, skills, and opportunities of the people you know will determine how far you can go in life. A single conversation with the right person can be more valuable than an entire year of working hard by yourself. That one person might give you an idea that changes everything. They might introduce you to someone else who can help you, or they might open a door that you never even knew existed. But building a powerful network is not about being fake or just using people to get ahead. That kind of networking feels slimy and it rarely works in the long run. It is about building genuine, authentic relationships with other people. The best way to do this is to focus on giving value to others first, without expecting anything in return. Be the kind of person that other people want to be around. Be helpful, be a good listener, and be genuinely interested in what other people are doing. When you help enough other people get what they want, they will naturally want to help you get what you want. It is a fundamental law of human nature. Your environment also plays a huge role in your success. The people you spend the most time with shape your thoughts, your beliefs, and your ambitions. There is another saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you hang around 5 negative people who complain all the time, you will eventually become the 6th one. If you hang around 5 people who are learning, growing, and building exciting things, you will naturally be pulled up to their level. You will start to think bigger and believe that more is possible for your own life. This means you have to be very careful about who you allow into your inner circle. Sometimes you may have to distance yourself from old friends who are holding you back. This can be a difficult and painful decision, but you have to decide if you want to be liked by everyone or if you want to achieve your goals. Start actively seeking out people who are where you want to be. Go to events, join online communities, or even just reach out to someone you admire and ask for a few minutes of their time. You will be surprised how many successful people are willing to help someone who is hungry and respectful. Build your circle intentionally because the people around you are either a rocket ship propelling you forward or an anchor holding you back. 7. Think big, then think bigger. The size of your bank account will rarely exceed the size of your thinking. The results you get in life are almost always a reflection of the goals you set for yourself. Most people keep their dreams and their goals small. They do this because they believe they are being realistic. But being realistic is often just an excuse to not even try. It is a way to protect yourself from the possibility of failure. If you never set a big goal, you can never fail at achieving a big goal. But you also guarantee that you will never achieve anything great. Here is a strange secret about goals. Big goals are often easier to achieve than small goals. That sounds crazy, but there is a reason for it. A small, boring goal does not inspire you to take massive action. No one wakes up in the morning feeling excited to earn an extra 1% on their savings account. It is not a goal that fires you up and makes you want to work hard. A big, exciting goal, on the other hand, captures your imagination. It makes you feel passionate and motivated. It also inspires other people to want to help you. No one gets excited about helping you achieve a tiny goal, but people love to be a part of a big, bold vision. When you set a goal to make $10,000 a month instead of just $1,000 a month, your brain is forced to work in a completely different way. You can no longer think about just working a few extra hours at your job. You have to start asking bigger questions. What new skills do I need to learn? What kind of business could I start? Who do I need to connect with to make this happen? Your small thinking kept you stuck in a small box of possibilities. Big thinking shatters that box and shows you a whole new world of opportunities. The problem is never that your goals are too big. The problem is that you have been too small. Your current situation is a result of your past thinking. If you want a different situation, you have to start thinking different thoughts. Allow yourself to dream without limits for a few minutes every day. What would you want to achieve if you knew you could not fail? Write those big goals down and look at them every day. At first, they will feel impossible and you might feel foolish. But over time, your brain will start to accept them as a real possibility. It will start working in the background, like a GPS, to find a path to that destination. You will start to notice opportunities you never saw before. You will have the courage to take actions you were once afraid to take. Thinking big is the very first step. It is the spark that lights the fire of achievement. 8. Understand the true price of success. Everything you want in life has a price, but the most important prices are not written on a price tag. These are the hidden costs of success, and most people are not willing to pay them. This is why so many people want to be rich, but so few actually are. Imagine you want to build a successful business from nothing. The price is not just the money you need to start it. The real price is the sleepless nights you will spend worrying about whether it will work. The real price is the intense stress and pressure you will feel every single day. The real price is the dozens of failures and rejections you will have to endure before you find something that works. The real price is the time you will have to sacrifice with your friends and your family because you are working on your business. Most people only see the reward. They see the successful business owner with the nice car and the big house. They do not see the years of brutal hard work and sacrifice that it took to get there. They want the prize, but they do not want to pay the price. It is like looking at a professional athlete. Everyone wants the glory of winning a championship, but very few people want the 5 a.m. training sessions, the strict diet of tasteless food, and the constant pain of pushing their body to its absolute limit. Before you start chasing any big goal, you have to first get brutally honest with yourself about the true cost. You have to ask yourself if you are genuinely willing to pay that price. Understanding the cost upfront is what gives you the mental toughness to keep going when things get hard, and things will always get hard. When you know that failure and struggle are just part of the price of admission, you do not get discouraged and quit after the first setback. You see it as just another payment you have to make on your way to your goal. This is why so many new businesses fail within the first few years. The owners had a romantic idea of what it would be like to be their own boss. They were not prepared for the reality of the long hours, the constant problems, and the emotional roller coaster. They did not understand the price, and so they were not willing to pay it. So, before you begin, do your research. Find people who have already achieved what you want to achieve. Read their stories, listen to their interviews, and understand the sacrifices they had to make. Then, look in the mirror and decide if you are truly ready to make those same sacrifices. If the answer is yes, then you have a real chance at success. You will be prepared for the journey with all of its ups and downs. 9. Master your fear. The single biggest thing that holds most people back from achieving their financial goals is fear. It is a powerful emotion that can paralyze you and keep you stuck. There is the fear of losing money in an investment. There is the fear of starting a business and having it fail in front of everyone. There is the fear of asking for a raise and being told no. There is even the fear of success itself and how it might change your life. This fear lives in our minds, and it often feels like a giant, terrifying monster. But there is a simple tool you can use to shrink that monster down to a manageable size. This tool comes from a very old book, and it involves asking yourself 3 simple questions whenever you feel afraid. Step 1 is to ask yourself, what is the absolute worst thing that could possibly happen if I do this? Do not just have a vague feeling of dread. Get very specific and write it down. What is the worst case scenario in extreme detail? Maybe if you invest your money, the worst case is that you lose all of it. If you start a business, the worst case is that it fails and you have to go back to your old job. Step 2 is to ask yourself if you can accept that worst case scenario. Can you live with it if it actually happens? When you really think about it, the answer is almost always yes. If you lose the money you invested, it will be painful, but you will not die. You will recover and you can earn more money. If your business fails, it will be embarrassing, but you can find another job and you will have learned valuable lessons. The worst case is rarely as bad as the vague fear in your head. Once you have accepted the worst case, you move to step 3. You immediately start thinking about how you can improve upon that worst case scenario. This final step moves your brain from a state of fear to a state of problem solving. You are no longer just worrying. You are actively planning and taking control. For example, if the worst case of investing is losing all your money, you can improve upon that by only investing a small amount that you can afford to lose. You can also do more research to make a smarter investment. This simple 3-step process takes all the power away from fear. It shows you that the monster in your head is mostly imaginary. It shines a light on your fear and reveals that it is not a brick wall blocking your path. It is just a shadow that you can walk right through. Most of our worries are about things that will never even happen. By facing the worst possible outcome, you free yourself to take the action that you know you need to take. 10. Escape the sunk cost trap. Imagine you have been climbing a huge mountain for 3 long years. You are tired and sore, but you are more than halfway to the top. Then, you look across a valley and you see another mountain. You suddenly realize with a sick feeling that you have been climbing the wrong mountain the entire time. The mountain you were supposed to climb, the one that leads to your true goals, is right next to you. But to get there, you would have to climb all the way back down to the bottom, rest, and then start all over again from the beginning. What would you do in that situation? If you are like most people, you would probably keep climbing the wrong mountain. You would say to yourself that you have already invested so much time and effort, and you cannot just throw all that hard work away. This is a dangerous psychological trap called the sunk cost fallacy. It is our tendency to make bad decisions in the future because we are too emotionally attached to our investments from the past. The time, money, or energy we have already spent, or the sunk costs, feel so heavy that they dictate our future choices, even when we know they are the wrong choices. The past is gone, and it is irrelevant to your future success. The only question that ever matters is this one. Knowing what I know right now, is this still the right path for me to be on starting today? If the answer to that question is no, then you must have the courage to quit. You have to be willing to climb down from the wrong mountain, no matter how much it hurts. This trap shows up everywhere in our lives. Maybe you're in a job you hate, but you stay because you have already been there for 10 years. Maybe you are in a relationship that you know is not working, but you stay because you have so much history together. Maybe you are halfway through a university degree that you now realize you have no interest in, but you keep going because you have already spent so much money on tuition. I once had to throw away 1.5 years of work on my university thesis because I realized it was the wrong mountain. It was incredibly painful to delete all that work and start from zero. But my new thesis was about creating an online business, which led me to where I am today. Quitting that old project was one of the best decisions of my entire life. It is always painful in the short term to walk away from a sunk cost, but it is even more painful to waste years of your future continuing down the wrong path. Be brave enough to admit when you have made a mistake. The cost you have already paid is gone, but the cost of continuing is a price you do not have to pay. 11. Create your own luck. Many people believe that getting rich is all about being lucky. They think that successful people just happen to be in the right place at the right time. But the more I have studied success, the less I believe in this kind of magical luck. What people often call luck is usually just the predictable result of taking massive and consistent action. Luck is not something that happens to you. Luck is something that you can create for yourself. Imagine that you and I are both looking for a great property to invest in. I go out and look at 10 different houses, and then I give up. You, on the other hand, are more determined. You go out and look at 100 different houses. Who do you think is more likely to get lucky and find an amazing deal? Of course you are. From the outside, it might look like you just stumbled upon a great opportunity. But in reality, you manufactured your own luck by putting in 10 times more effort than I did. Successful people are not necessarily luckier than anyone else. They just take more shots at the goal. They try more business ideas. They contact more potential clients. They publish more content. They understand that most of their attempts are going to fail, and they are completely okay with that. They know that business is a numbers game. You might have to hear the word no 99 times before you get to a yes that changes your life. Many large and successful companies operate on this same principle. A streaming service like Netflix produces hundreds of shows and movies. The vast majority of them are not huge hits, but all they need is a few blockbuster successes to pay for all the failures and make a massive profit. When you understand this, you can free yourself from the fear of failure. You can accept that it is normal for most of the things you try to not work out perfectly. Sometimes, all you need is one good idea, one helpful person, or one successful project to completely change the course of your life. Others will look at your success and say you just got lucky. But you will know the truth. You will know that you had to try 50 different things to find the one that worked. You will know that you had to talk to 100 different people to find the one person who could help you. You did not find luck, you created it. So stop waiting for luck to come and find you. Get out there and start taking action. The more actions you take, the bigger you make your target for luck to hit. You will start to notice that the harder you work, the luckier you get. 12. Automate your financial life. Your willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired and weaker the more you use it throughout the day. This is why it is a very bad idea to rely on your willpower for anything important, especially when it comes to your money. If you have to remember to manually save money, invest money, or pay off your debts every single month, you will eventually fail. Life will get busy, you will forget, or you will just feel lazy and say you will do it tomorrow. and that tomorrow often never comes. The simple and powerful solution to this problem is automation. You need to set up systems that handle your important financial tasks for you, without you having to think about them. You can set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account on the day you get paid. You can set up automatic investments into your retirement funds every single month. You can automate your bill payments so you never have to worry about missing one and paying a late fee. The beauty of automation is that it removes your emotions and your laziness from the equation. You only have to make the right decision one time. After you set up the system, it works for you in the background forever. I learned this lesson the hard way a few years ago. I had a credit card, and the manager at the bank told me I could either pay a small fee to have my payments automatically deducted, or I could just log in and press one button each month to do it for free. I thought I was disciplined enough to do it myself and save the fee. But in the next 6 months, I forgot to press that simple button twice and ended up paying over $100 in interest fees. After that, I immediately called the bank and asked them to make it automatic. I learned that relying on my own willpower was much more expensive than the small automation fee. Over 90% of the money game is about psychology and emotions. We are not perfectly rational beings. We get tired, we get emotional, and we make bad decisions. Automation is like a safety net that protects your future self from your present self. It is the single most effective way to guarantee that you will build wealth over time. It forces you to pay yourself first, which is the golden rule of personal finance. So, take an afternoon to set up your financial automation. It might be the most profitable few hours you ever spend. You set it once, and then you can forget about it. Your wealth will continue to build in the background, whether you are feeling motivated or not. 13. The two paths to wealth. When it comes to building wealth, there are generally two main paths you can take. I call them the slow lane and the fast lane. The slow lane is the traditional path that most financial experts talk about. It involves getting a steady job, saving about 10% of your income, and investing it in the stock market for a very long time. If you do this consistently for 40 or 50 years, you will very likely become a millionaire. This path is safe, reliable, and it works. The only problem with the slow lane is that it is, as the name suggests, very slow. It requires you to trade your youth and your most energetic years for the promise of wealth in old age. You will have a lot of money when you are 65 or 70, but you might not have the health or the energy to fully enjoy it. The fast lane is a very different path. This idea comes from a book called The Millionaire Fast Lane, and it is about building a business or a system that can make you wealthy in a much shorter period of time, like 5 to 10 years. The goal of the fast lane is to compress your working life into a short but intense period. You work incredibly hard for a few years to build an asset that can pay you for the rest of your life. This could be starting a scalable business, inventing a product, or creating valuable intellectual property like a book or a software program. This path allows you to enjoy your wealth while you are still young and vibrant enough to do all the things you dream of doing. The fast lane is much harder and much riskier than the slow lane. Most people who try to build a fast lane business will fail. It requires an immense amount of work, stress, and a willingness to take smart risks. It has a much higher price of entry, which we talked about earlier, but the potential reward is also much greater. The reward is not just money, it is the ultimate prize of time and freedom. You can choose which path you want to take. Some people are perfectly happy with their job and the security of the slow lane. They do not want the stress and responsibility of running a business, and that is a completely valid choice. Other people are willing to take on the risk and the challenge of the fast lane for the chance to retire early. You can even choose to do a combination of both. You can have a steady job and invest in the slow lane, while also working on a fast lane side business in your spare time. The most important thing is that you have to choose your path consciously. Do not just end up in the slow lane by default because you never thought about any other options. Understand the two paths and decide which one is right for you and your personal goals. 14. Embrace the power of boredom. We live in a world that is obsessed with excitement. Everyone is looking for the hot new thing, the secret trick, or the exciting investment that will make them rich overnight. People love to talk about the new cryptocurrency that is going to the moon, or the small startup company that is going to be the next big thing. But here's a secret that most people do not want to hear. true, lasting wealth is almost always built through incredibly boring, consistent actions repeated over a long period of time. The path to wealth is not a thrilling roller coaster ride. It is a long, slow, and often boring walk up a gentle hill. Investing in a simple, low-cost index fund every single month for 30 years is probably the most boring investment strategy on the planet. There is nothing exciting about it. But it is also one of the most tested and proven ways for an ordinary person to become a millionaire. Learning a high-value skill is also not always fun. It involves thousands of hours of repetitive practice and study. Building a successful business is not all about big, exciting product launches. It also involves a lot of boring and tedious administrative tasks like accounting, paperwork, and customer service. Most people run away from boredom. They need constant stimulation and excitement to stay engaged. This is why they jump from one shiny object to the next, never sticking with anything long enough to see real results. The people who win in the long run are the ones who can learn to embrace the boredom. They understand that greatness is built on a foundation of consistent, unsexy habits. They have the discipline to do the right thing over and over again, even when it is not fun or exciting. They can find satisfaction in the process itself, not just in the final result. They learn to love the daily grind because they know that is where the real progress is made. If you can be the person who is willing to do the boring work that everyone else is too distracted to do, you will have an incredible advantage. You will be able to stick with your plan long after everyone else has given up and moved on to the next exciting thing. So do not be afraid of boredom. See it as a sign that you are on the right track. The most boring choices are often the most profitable ones in the long run. Learn to love the process, and the results will take care of themselves. 15. The unsexy superpower of patience. If there is one superpower that is more valuable than any other in the world of money, it is the power of patience. But it is also one of the rarest powers in our modern world. We live in a society that demands instant gratification for everything. We want to get our packages delivered in one day, we want to lose weight in 1 week, and we want to get rich in 1 month. We have been trained to be incredibly impatient, and this impatience is a disaster for our financial lives. Building real, lasting wealth takes time. It is a marathon, not a sprint. The greatest secret to building wealth is not some complicated investment strategy. It is the simple and powerful force of time. A famous investor, Warren Buffett, made over 99% of his massive fortune after his 50th birthday. His primary skill is investing, but his real superpower is that he has been doing it patiently and consistently since he was just a little boy. Time is the magical ingredient that allows the power of compounding to work. Compounding is when your investments start earning their own money, and then that money starts earning even more money. It creates a snowball effect that starts slow but grows to an unstoppable force over many years. But compounding needs a long runway to do its magic. This is why starting to invest early is so important, even if it is just a small amount. Patience is also crucial if you are trying to build a business on the fast lane. It takes time to find a good idea, it takes time to build a product, and it takes time to find customers. There will be long periods where you are working incredibly hard, but not seeing any results. This is the period where most people give up because their impatience gets the best of them. Impatience is also what makes people fall for get-rich-quick schemes. They do not want to put in the time and effort required to build real wealth, so they look for a shortcut. But there are no real shortcuts in this game. Those schemes almost always end in people losing their hard-earned money. You need to cultivate patience as if it were a muscle. You have to train it every day. You can do this by focusing on your daily habits and your process, rather than constantly looking at your results. Celebrate the fact that you saved money today, or that you worked on your business for an hour. Trust that if you keep doing the right things every day, the results will eventually come. Patience is your defense against making stupid, emotional decisions with your money. It allows you to think for the long term and ignore the short-term noise. If you can master the art of being patient, you will have an almost unfair advantage over everyone else. 16. Master the gap. At the end of the day, your entire financial life can be boiled down to a very simple equation. It is the gap between the money you earn and the money you spend. Everything about building wealth is contained within this simple idea. The size of this gap will determine how quickly you can achieve your financial goals. Most people only focus on one side of this equation. There are the super frugal people who focus all of their energy on spending less. They clip coupons, they refuse to buy anything new, and they obsess over saving a few dollars. Then there are the people who focus only on earning more. They work multiple jobs and long hours, but they also increase their spending just as quickly as their income goes up. Both of these approaches are flawed because they are only looking at half of the picture. The truly wealthy focus on mastering both sides of the equation at the same time. They work hard to dramatically increase their income while also being very intentional and mindful about how they spend their money. Your number one job is to make the gap between your income and your expenses as wide as humanly possible. That money that is left over in the gap is the seed of your future wealth. It is the raw material that you can use to build your financial freedom. You can use that money to buy assets that will work for you. You can use it to invest in your own skills so you can earn even more in the future. You can use it to start a business that has the potential to grow. If your gap is very small or even negative, you have no fuel for your financial engine. You are stuck running on a treadmill, working hard just to stay in the same place. So how do you widen your gap? You have to attack it from both sides. First, you need to track your spending so you know exactly where your money is going. You will probably be shocked to find how much money you are wasting on things you do not even care about. Then, you can create a simple budget that aligns your spending with your values. This is not about depriving yourself. It is about making sure your money is going towards the things that are most important to you. At the same time, you need to be constantly thinking about how you can increase your income. This goes back to playing offense. You can ask for a raise, learn a new skill, or start a small side business. Even an extra few $100s a month can make a massive difference to your gap. The wider you can make that gap, the more power and control you will have over your own life. You will have the freedom to take risks, to pursue opportunities, and to build the life you truly want. It all starts with that simple space between what comes in and what goes out. 17. Learn to sell. Many people have a very negative reaction when they hear the word sales. They immediately picture a pushy and dishonest used car salesman who is trying to trick them into buying something they do not want. Because of this negative image, they think that selling is something that is beneath them. But the truth is, you are selling things every single day of your life, whether you realize it or not. Selling is not about manipulation or trickery. At its core, selling is simply the act of communication and persuasion. It is about showing other people how you can help them solve a problem or get something they want. When you go into a job interview, you are selling your skills and your experience to the employer. When you want your boss to approve a new project, you have to sell them on your idea. When you are trying to convince your kids to eat their vegetables, you are selling them on the benefits of being healthy. When you are on a date, you are selling yourself as a good potential partner. The ability to communicate your value clearly and persuade others is a master skill for life. It is the foundation of earning more money, building a strong network, and creating a successful business. If you cannot sell, you will always be limited in what you can achieve. You do not have to become a slick and aggressive salesperson. In fact, the best salespeople are often the ones who are the most helpful and authentic. They see themselves as problem solvers, not as product pushers. They listen carefully to understand the other person's needs, and then they show how their solution is the perfect fit. The good news is that selling is a skill that anyone can learn. It is not some magical talent that you are born with. You can start by reading books and watching videos about communication and psychology. You can practice by trying to persuade people in small, low-stakes situations. Try to negotiate a small discount on something you are buying. Try to convince your friends to try a new restaurant that you want to go to. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. You will learn how to articulate your ideas more clearly and how to handle objections gracefully. If you are afraid of selling, you are essentially afraid of asking for what you want in life. You will always be at the mercy of other people's decisions. If you can learn to sell effectively and ethically, you will be able to create your own opportunities. You will be able to build the career, the business, and the life that you desire. In this world, you are either selling or you are being sold to. It is much more profitable to be the one who is doing the selling. 18. Take asymmetric bets. The wealthy do not get rich by being reckless and gambling all their money away. They also do not get rich by being so safe that they never take any risks at all. They get rich by taking a special kind of smart risk. These are called asymmetric bets. The word asymmetric just means that the two sides are not equal. An asymmetric bet is a situation where your potential upside, or what you could gain, is enormous, while your potential downside, or what you could lose, is very small and limited. This is the secret to taking risks without being stupid. You are looking for opportunities where you have very little to lose and a massive amount to potentially gain. Let me give you a simple example. Starting a blog or a podcast is a perfect asymmetric bet. What is the downside? The cost is very low, maybe a few $100s for a good microphone and a website. The biggest investment is your own time. If your project fails and no one ever listens to it, what have you really lost? Not much. The downside is capped and small. Now, what is the potential upside? The upside is almost unlimited. Your blog or podcast could reach millions of people all over the world. It could turn into a full-time business that earns you a fortune and gives you complete freedom. It could open doors to opportunities you cannot even imagine right now. The potential gain is huge compared to the small potential loss. This is the kind of bet that the rich love to make. They are constantly looking for these asymmetric opportunities. Another example is investing a small amount of money in a promising new startup company. The downside is that you could lose your entire investment if the company fails. So, you should only invest an amount that you are completely comfortable with losing. But the upside is that if that company becomes the next big thing, your small investment could multiply by 1,000 times or more. The key is to not be afraid of failure. In fact, when you are making a lot of small, asymmetric bets, you should expect that most of them will fail. That is part of the strategy. You might make 10 small bets and have 9 of them go to zero. But if that one successful bet returns 100 times your money, you have still made a massive profit overall. This approach protects you from the kind of risk that can wipe you out completely. You should never bet the farm on one single idea. Always look for opportunities where the risk is small and the potential reward is huge. This allows you to take many shots at success without the fear of a catastrophic failure. It is the smartest way to take risks and to give yourself a chance at life-changing success. 19. Your behavior is your biggest advantage. You do not need to be a genius to become wealthy. You do not need a fancy degree in finance or the ability to do complex math in your head. In fact, there are many brilliant people in the world who are absolutely terrible with their money. This is because building wealth has much less to do with how smart you are and much more to do with how you behave. Your behavior around money is your single greatest advantage or disadvantage. It is the soft skills, not the technical skills, that will ultimately determine your financial success. Think about the skill of patience. This is a behavioral skill. It is your ability to delay gratification and to think for the long term, even when you want instant results. This one behavior is more powerful than any stock-picking strategy. Think about your ability to remain calm when everyone else is panicking. During a stock market crash, the news will be filled with fear and predictions of doom. The genius who panics and sells all of their investments at the bottom will lose a fortune. The person with average intelligence who can control their fear and stick to their plan will come out ahead. Your relationship with greed is another crucial behavior. When things are going well and your investments are soaring, it is easy to get greedy and take on too much risk. The person who can control their greed and not get carried away will protect themselves from making a huge mistake. The person who lets greed take over will eventually be humbled by the market. The most important behavior of all is consistency. It is your ability to do the right things over and over again, month after month, year after year, no matter what. It is the behavior of consistently saving a portion of your income. It is the behavior of consistently investing that money, even when it feels boring. It is the behavior of consistently living below your means, even when your income increases. A person with an average income who can master these simple behaviors will always end up richer than a person with a high income who has no discipline. Your financial success is a long game that is played in your own mind. It is a battle between your rational, long-term brain and your emotional, short-term brain. The winner of that battle will be determined by your behavior, so do not worry if you are not the smartest person in the room. Focus instead on cultivating the right financial behaviors. If you can be more patient, more disciplined, and more emotionally controlled than the people around you, you will win the game of money. 20. Be a learning machine. Reading over 100 books is completely worthless if you do not do anything with the knowledge you gain. Many people fall into the trap of becoming a learning junkie. They consume an endless amount of information. They watch videos, listen to podcasts, and read articles all day long, but their actual life never changes. These people are not learning. They are just collecting information. They are treating knowledge like a collection of stamps that they keep in a book but never actually use. To build a better life, you cannot just be a collector of information. You have to become a learning machine. A learning machine does not just consume knowledge. It immediately puts that knowledge into action. When you learn a new and powerful idea, you should not just file it away in your brain. You should immediately find a way to use it, even if it is in a very small way. This is how you turn abstract knowledge into real-world wisdom. If you read a book about marketing, do not just highlight the good parts. Go and build a simple website or a social media page today and try out one of the ideas from the book. If you learn a new negotiation tactic, do not wait for a big business deal to try it. Use it the next time you call your cable or phone company to try and lower your bill. This process of learning, applying, and then seeing the result is what creates a powerful feedback loop. The action you take gives you real-world data that you can use to learn even more. This is much more effective than just passively reading. Knowledge only becomes power when it is applied. Until then, it is just potential power that is sitting there doing nothing. You do not need to know everything before you get started. You just need to know enough to take the very next step. Then you can learn what you need to know for the step after that. This approach of just-in-time learning is much more efficient than trying to learn everything up front. It keeps you focused on action and prevents you from getting stuck in the trap of analysis paralysis. So every time you learn something new, ask yourself a simple question: how can I use this today? Find a small, simple way to apply the idea to your own life. This will build your confidence, and it will start a cycle of growth that cannot be stopped. The goal is not to be the person who has read the most books. The goal is to be the person who has applied the most lessons. I hope this video was useful to you and that you found some value in these lessons. This is the knowledge that changed my life, and I believe it can change yours too. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this to help you build a better life, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching.